Hi guys, it's Brenda again. Okay, so I had an epic fail. I'll be honest. I did make the cover using that bubble, the bubble wrap that, that bubble packet that I showed you. I ironed my material on, or I ironed my material on the interfacing. Glued it to here, put the inside part. It's fine. It looks okay, but it's very small. So what I mean is there's no spine. It kind of made its own little spine, which I was happy about. However, for as many pages that I want in this journal, it is not going to work, okay? I mean, I'd really have to stuff them in here and it would just end up being not good. However, I am not going to throw this away because, it's not bad. I mean, it has its purpose, right? So I am going to end up doing something with this at the end of this series, I promise. And maybe it'll be a little addition to the journal, little add-on, we'll see, or just a little notebook on its own. But for now, I'm going to set this one aside and we are going to start rethinking the cover a little bit differently. So let me do that. Okay. What I did do, which I told you in the last video, is I put all my signatures together. So you'll see that I kind of placed them all together. Some of the papers that I showed you in the very first video are in here, kind of give it a little bit of interest. Once you have your signatures together, and I have 4, then what you want to do is just kind of take them, even everything out a little bit, and then this is where you crease harder. Okay, so you just put a nice crease in each one. And we're good. So, like I said, 4 signatures, and in each signature I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pages, okay? So 7 pages, 4 signatures, and 7 pages in each of the 4. So that's going to make a nice journal. All right, so now what I decided to do for the cover, because not everyone has bookboard and all that, so I wanted to still think about what a beginner might have and, how we could get through this without using that bubble wrap. So what I did is I have a lot of these folders, okay? These little file folders. Sometimes we have them at work and they get tossed or whatnot, or you have them at home and you're home filing. Don't throw them away, okay? You can cut up the metal piece here. And what I like to do is I then glue with my glue stick, okay? I like to glue this together to make it just a little bit heavier, okay? And that is what I did here. I glued it together. It's a little bit thicker than, still has some give. It's, not too bad. Not super thick like a book board, but it has enough for my purpose, okay? And so what I'm doing is I'm going to now glue it to 2 papers that I cut out from that group that I showed you in the beginning of my extra scrapbook paper. So I cut out 2 of these that are a little bit bigger than what these are. Okay, so let me show you how I thought about these first. So here's my folded paper, my folded signature. What I did to get this green, right, this size, is I put it here, and then I'm like, okay, I need to have it just a little bit bigger up here and a little bit bigger down here. All right. So if my signature is 8 1/4 by 5 1/4, then this part I made 8 3/4 by, I did 6, which is fine. I want it to be a little bit wider this way. because in case I have lace or anything like that sticking out, I just want it to be a little wider. Plus, if I put a closure on, that's another reason why I would want it to be a little bit wider, not just a 1/4 inch, okay? So what I did is I already glued one down with my glue stick, and I'm going to glue another one down, okay? So let's take my glue stick. Sorry for the about face on this, guys, but you know, sometimes you just have to roll with it. If something isn't working, try something else. And don't give up. That's the main thing. It's just don't give up on it. I really wanted to make that bubble wrap work. It just wasn't going to. And I thought, well, instead of being a crazy person and just really working it, let's show you how things don't work. And then move on. Now I did my glue stick, and then I also on the edges I put my art glitter glue, just because I really want this to stick down well. So your paper, by the way, your scrapbook paper, or you know that you're going to use for your cover, just make it a little bit bigger, like maybe an inch or 3/4 of an inch or something. Just make it bigger than your actual book board, or you know what you're using for a book board. Okay, so now that's glued down. I'm going to miter my corners. Grab my scissors here. So when I miter, I'm going to kind of come in a little bit, kind of almost like at a curve. This is a little bit easier to do than with that material. And these don't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be perfect, does it? Okay. I'm going to put these aside. All right. Let me do this one. I notice that this is sticking up a little bit, so I'm going to just do a little bit more glue there. I really want that to stay down well. Okay, now, because I really want this to hold this, I think I'm going to do my Fabri-Tac to glue these edges up. You don't have to. You could use your art glitter glue. But I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac, just for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to fold these up against the green. Really try to make sure that you get right up against that edge. Okay. And you can always take a bone folder if you want. And then, like I said, you can take your bone folder and then just kind of get right there, you know, and that butts it right up, okay, to that edge. So you're going to kind of take it, go like that, and then it's just very nice. Now this paper is a little bit thicker, so that's why it's kind of a little bit, sometimes it's harder with thicker paper when you get your edges, because it doesn't fold down quite as easy. But I'm not going to worry, because I can cut that piece off. I can use some, you know, some metal edging around my corners, you know, and whatnot. All right, so I have that folded up. And here's my Fabri-Tac. And wait for that to come all the way down here. And now Fabri-Tac is pretty thick. So when you're doing this, make sure you kind of try to kind of spread it a little bit. All right, so I'm just gonna hold that down for a minute. It does grab pretty quick, though. That's what I kind of like about it too. Some people use a hot glue gun. I would be afraid that this is just a little thick for that with the hot glue, but you do whatever you have. You know, use whatever you have, right? Don't stress about it. Come on. Just holding that down. Little glue went over, but I'm not worried because I'm going to be covering that up. All right. Now we have these edges. And like I said, that one is kind of giving me grief, but I'm not going to stress about this stuff right now because there's always ways to fix things. So let me get these, the top and bottom glued. Use a lot of Fabri-Tac. I use a lot of art glitter glue and my glue sticks. The favorite glue stick is Scotch Create. Really, really like that brand. Like the way that it holds. And all right, I'm gonna hold that down for a minute. Not too bad. Tiny, 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 tiniest little thing poking out there, but nothing too bad. And then I can always fix it with inking. One thing too is when you're using thicker paper, sometimes that paper might crack, right? So just be careful with stuff like that. This is going to work out just fine because I'll ink and I have no worries. This is going to work. So there's that one. Now let me do this one. All right. You guys will have to let me know in the comments if you've ever tried to do the bubble covers. Because like I said, that was a little more challenging than I thought it was going to be. And so I thought, ooh, if it's challenging for me, and I've done journal covers before, it would really be challenging for someone that hasn't possibly. So I didn't want to discourage anyone. That's why I went this different route and thought, well, let's just do a different type of cover. So I hope you don't mind. Another thing you can do too is you can put like paper clips on here as well while it's gluing, or you know, while we're waiting for it to hold, you know, to do the hold. So if I go like that, and then like this, that'd be good. And then the same thing here. I can just put one here. You know, really press this down. Put one there. And then I can kind of continue on with the bottom. Top and bottom here. Like I said, if you don't have Fabri-Tac, don't worry. You could use your glue stick. You could use art glitter glue. Just kind of use what you have. A bit of glue got on there. And don't get discouraged. You know, there's always ways around things. All right, so there's that one. And last but not least, let's do this one. Okay. Here I'm telling you guys that it grabs right away and then it's not behaving. Isn't it funny? Only because I'm on camera. That's okay. All right. So let me kind of keep the clips here. Just want to make sure this grabs real well. Okay. Now, I got one more thing I want to do. So I have this and this is going to be our cover, right? Okay. Front and back cover. Beautiful paper. Use what you have. So find some scrapbook paper. You could even, if you need to, print an extra page from the kit and just use that paper. That would cover lovely. Okay, that would work just as well. So don't think that you have to have this scrapbook paper in order to, you know, to do this. I'm just using it because I have it in my stash and I'm trying to use up some of my stuff. I have too much. Okay, now what I want is I want to have a little bit of space, or I want to have a spine, right? So I decided to cut off that, the same paper, doubled up, right? I decided to cut off a piece that was, I think it's 1 and a half. Okay, so it's 1.5 and it's the same length. So it should be like 8.5. 8.75. Okay. Yeah, 8.75. Okay, so 8 3/4 by 1.5. And then what I thought I would do is I thought I would just take an extra piece of that paper and then just wrap it around here. So I'm going to do the same thing with the Fabri-Tac. And I will tell you what the method is for that madness in a minute. You know what? This is giving me grief. So I'm going to try to use my glue stick and art glitter glue to see if it's going to behave any better. Just to kind of show you the two that it doesn't really matter if you don't have all the specific glues and whatnots. Okay, that works out better. See, look at that. That actually worked out better than the Fabri-Tac. Now, if you are gluing fabric, Fabri-Tac is excellent for that. But for this, we could have just used the glue stick and we could have used art glitter glue. So, lesson learned, Brenda. Okay. Now, so this is the spine. This is the front and back cover. Okay? Not bad. Make sure that everything is glued down well before you kind of continue on with these steps. Little patience goes a long way, okay? Especially if you're ever running things through like a sewing machine and stuff, make sure your glue is dry. You don't want to gunk up your sewing machine and ruin it. Okay. Okay, so here's this and that. Now, what I want to do is I want to cover the inside. And I cut these papers, same kit that I had, not kit, but the same, you know, scrapbook paper pack, you know, it's from the same one as this one, okay? So what I did is I cut them just a little bit smaller. So you go about 1/4 inch. So depending on how you measure yours out, just go about 1/4 inch, you know, leave on each side and then you can cover it. Okay, and that's gonna finish this off and make it look really nice. So I'm gonna do that next. And this time, I'm gonna just use my glue stick and my art glitter glue. Okay. All right. So first, I'm going to cover most of it with my glue stick. Just because I don't want to, you know, art glitter glue is more expensive and you end up using so much glue, and, you know, when you're doing all this gluing of paper. So I tend to just kind of use my art glitter when I'm doing like edge work, because it holds the edges so well, and I don't go all over the paper with it. Okay. So find where it's even, and then glue it down. You could smooth it with a bone folder. You know, check to see if there's any edges that didn't glue down well, and then just kind of go with your art glitter glue under the edge. Look at that, isn't that nice? What do you think? I'm gonna go up a little bit here at the camera. Hopefully you're seeing all this. Okay, let's do another one. So this one here, I am gonna do glue stick in the center. And around the edges, I'm gonna do art glitter glue. And you want to get close to the edge, but not too much glue because you don't want it seeping out. I'm just going to go and kind of turn this over. Try to center it as much as possible. Doesn't have to be perfect because, you know, we'll probably put pockets and things on here, so it'll all be good. And take your bone folder and just really give it a good burnish. And that way too, if there, you know, there's glue that didn't get to the edges, it'll kind of push it there. So, looking good, hey? I like it. Now, I have this one here, and then I have my two end pieces. So let me show you what I want to do now. Let me close up some of this stuff. One thing I can recommend with your art glitter glue, if you don't have a dangle on it, you always have a stainless steel pin in there, okay? So a lot of times for me, and watch, I can't find it now. That's too funny. I have a little pin cushion that I'll usually have sitting, you know, right here, and then I'll usually take my pin out and then I'll stick it in there. Because otherwise these fall off the table and I can't seem to find them. So, all right. And I can already see a little bit of a problem, guys. You can kind of see like this didn't glue all the way. So I'm going to take some more of my art glitter glue and I'm just going to kind of put some in between there. See if I can kind of glue that down. Yeah, I did a little too much, but I really want that to be a solid glue. It's fine on the top. It was just that bottom that I must have not had enough glue on there. All right. Okay. Now, next step. I'm going to make sure these are in the right position. So there's that one. There's that one. Decide which one you want for your front. I want this to be my front and this to be my back. So I'm going to just kind of line them up over here. And now what I want to do is I want to have just a little bit of space in between the covers and the spine. So not a lot, but like a smidge, okay? And you want to try to have it as even as you can. And for this, it would be good to like butt everything, maybe if you have a T-square ruler, that's great. If not, just put a different ruler up here, just so you can kind of butt everything up together to make sure that you are even. on top, okay, and on bottom. All right, I think I'm pretty happy with that. You could even take, you know, another, you can even take like a ruler or something and then butt it. See, that's too, wide. I just want to make sure these are both even, right? So, okay. I'm going to try to eyeball. Okay, Brenda. There's my ruler. There's that. Okay, there's that. I don't think I want that big of a width in between, but let me just play with this for a minute. It does help to have a mat like this so you can line up things. Okay. It's going to be a lot bigger spine, but that might be okay. All right, I have this tape. It's book tape. It's called Book Guard. And I'll try to link below. I think I got it from Amazon. I'll try to link below. But I think I want to put this over the top of here to hold everything together. You could just put some tape here and here. But, and you might be wondering, well, why'd you put this on here, Brenda, if you're going to cover it? It's because the other side, I'm not going to cover. I might cover like with a tool or something, but I kind of want that design to show through. So let me do this one more time. Gonna line that up there. Line that up there. For some reason, this just does not look even, and I'm wondering why. Let me look at this for a second. I'm thinking that's even. I'm hoping that's even. Okay. Yeah, let's do it this way. Let's really see if it's even, right? All right. So that's good. That's even. That's good. Now what I'm going to do is I am just going to pull this away just a smidge. That might be the better way to do it, is butt them up against each other and then just pull them up, you know, pull them apart just a smidge. Trying to make sure that everything is still even. Okay. I'm really hoping that's going to work. I don't know why I'm so nervous about this, but probably because I'm doing this on camera, and usually I show you guys after it's done. So I'm kind of a little more relaxed, I guess, when I'm doing it. And regardless, guys, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so I'm going to take my book tape. And I'm going to cut a piece off. That's, you know, that's the size of that book. I'm probably going to go a little bit longer, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about that. As long as it's as long, that's all I care about. All right. Now, I'm going to just line up as best as I can and drop it. I committed, guys. It's either going to work or not, right? Now I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to go in that crease. Nice. Remember that little tiny crease that I made in between. All right. Ah, this is going to be nice. Nice. Wonderful. I love it. Okay. So that worked out. I'm going to trim the tape off. Looks like one of my covers is a little bit taller than the other. I'm still not going to stress. Because, you know, hey, we're making a book. This is a pretty cool thing. All right. Look at that. Doesn't that look nice? I like it. So I'm going to burnish this right here really well, this tape. I really like this. You can get it in different colors. I kind of like the black. It goes with everything, right? But I like this because it gives your spine a nice, gives it, you know, good strength, right? So look at that, guys. That's going to be our book. And now when I take my signatures and I put them in there, see, I have lots of room, right? I have lots more room. Just do this, and I can actually I could put more if I wanted to, signatures. I think I'm going to still stick with 4. I could possibly do 5, but I think I might stick with 4. We'll see. But that gives me a lot more space. So it's not alligator mouth. It'll just be like this. And then remember, I said in case I wanted to do a closure, I have a little bit of space here that I could actually do a closure here and here, which is wonderful. Now, I put that tape on. Remember, I told you that I wasn't really going to cover this. However, it's sticky here, right? So I do want to cover it. And, but I want this to show. So I was thinking almost like I could put tulle on here. Just, you know, like a piece of tulle I could sew on. You know, maybe just sew it here and here and it would cover this. I thought that would look really pretty. And then I could also, if I wanted to, I could sew around the edges, you know, just to kind of hold everything together well, you know, really well, you know, too. So I think what I'm going to do is possibly do that and then come back and we'll do another shot. We'll in our next video, we're going to actually sew in our signatures. I'll show you how to do the holes and, you know, how to sew everything in. And then we'll probably even maybe finish up here and here as far as doing like a pocket. I'm not going to decorate the outside right now. I'll probably do that at the end. But hopefully you're enjoying the series so far, and I hope it's helpful for you. All right, I will talk to you next time. Thank you.